Well, I was going to open with, as is customary, hello again, but there is no again. We've never done this before. The last time Newcastle won there at Wembley, there were no selfie sticks, there were no mobile phones, there was no me either. Wow, and how do I even now go about trying to capture just the most magnificent historic day? Well, there are so many different elements to it. I could talk about 32,000 of you guys who are absolutely incredible. I could talk about the 11 players on the pitch plus the substitutes who were incredible. I go through all of that, but I'm going to start with one person, one place. I'm going to simplify it, and that's the manager. That's Eddie Howe, because goodness, so many managers have tried before to be the one who earns this 70-year, this 56-year wait for a trophy, and he's the one who's done it now in just over 3 years. And out of everybody, you know, I'm over the moon for my wife and my kids who are in the stands. I'm over the moon for all of you, every viewer, every supporter. Everyone's been on that journey, but I think the person I feel it most for is the manager. Behind us there in Box Park, before the game, I went on TalkSport, and they said to me, just tell us about Eddie Howe. And I paused and I said, the best part of this job, the most privileged part of this job, is that 2 or 3 times a week, you get to go as a journalist behind the curtain. You get to see something different in you. You can smell a manager. We could smell Eddie Howe tonight, by the way. He had to apologise for how he smelled when he came to the press conference room with us. Joe Linton had just soaked him in alcohol, lager, champagne, whatever it may have been, and you could smell him. But it was the sweet smell of victory, of silverware, of success. Nobody minded. The point I come back to is, when we sit down opposite a manager, and I've got a pretty checkered history when it comes to managers of Newcastle and some other clubs as well, you get a feel for them. You get to know whether they're genuine, whether they're intelligent, whether they're hardworking, whether they're good at what they do. Trust me, Eddie Howe is every one of those, all of those qualities and more. From the moment I first heard him speak, from the moment I was first in his company, I knew that Newcastle had the manager, the one who would do this, the one who would deliver today. I keep on coming back to that word, trust me. I say it all the time during the bad times. There's been bad times. There's times when, by his own admission, he has come up short as a manager. There's been rocky runs when some folk have turned on him. I've took stick because of that at times. It's not about me, but the point I'm making is I've always believed, and I know the majority of you have too, because what you see with Eddie Howe is just such a genuine, is the word I come back to, so genuine. And that today, now it may look from the outside, and I said this on radio as well when they were talking about the ownership model and everything that was happening at the club, and I said, from the outside it might look as if Newcastle arriving here and getting into the Champions League 2 seasons ago and going to the Carabao Cup 2 seasons ago, you know, that might look like it is the arrival of a superpower, a super club, you know, fueled by Saudi money and everything like that. Yes, it's helped. I'll tell you what, the overriding, the biggest accelerant, the biggest factor, the reason Newcastle have now ended that wait for a trophy, that is Eddie Howe, that is the manager. And today, even in isolation, I say that in the context of the past 3 words, the past 3 years, where he has taken the team from in 19th to 4th, that was because of the manager. Even the players who came in, you know, you can say it's about money, every banknote had Eddie Howe's fingerprints on it, he identified them. When the players came into the building, you know, good players can arrive at a club and under a bad manager, they don't kick on like they have done. Every player he has had under his care, be it the ones he inherited, be it the ones he brought in, they are better players because of it. And the point I make is we arrive at today because of Eddie Howe. That is the reason for me, and that's why I've started the first 4 minutes of this video talking non-stop about him. I'm not done there, because not just what has gone during the past 3 years, the victory today as well, it was a 90-minute thesis on how to beat a team who are better than you. And if you don't like that statement, Liverpool are top of the league, Liverpool are going to be the champions. Coming into this game, they were favourites. Liverpool, by definition, in terms of the league position, they are better than Newcastle. They had to do something to bridge that gap. Well, goodness, they bridged it and they went beyond it. Liverpool didn't look a better team than Newcastle today. Newcastle looked a better team from kick-off, from 0 minutes to 5 to 10 to 15 to 20. At no point did they come off that. At half-time, Newcastle had been magnificent. They were 1-0 up, and we spoke amongst ourselves in the press room, and we said, you know, as members of the North East Press Pack, we remember being here with Sunderland when they were 1-0 up after a magnificent first half against Manchester City. So be warned, City came out in the second half and they turned it on and won 2-1. There was that danger. Liverpool couldn't be as bad as they'd been in the first half. Well, no, they couldn't be as bad. They were actually worse, and that wasn't because of Liverpool. Yes, I do think they've slightly come off it, and I said this in the pre-match video. My reason for renewed optimism all of a sudden was as much what I'd seen it from Liverpool as I had from Newcastle in the past week. I thought there was a levelling up there. But forget Liverpool. It was Newcastle who imposed themselves on this game, not just from 0 to 45, as I touched on. There's then that slight worry Newcastle might come off it and sit back and protect that lead. How many times have we seen them do that when they've got that advantage? They could have got nervous, they didn't. They backed themselves, they were masters of their own destiny. They went after a second goal and they got it deservedly. And from that moment on, at no point, and I always say this, you're writing, you've got your laptop there in front of you, you've got to commit to a theme, to a tone. At no point did I think Newcastle were going to surrender that. Okay, it was a little nervy in the final 2 or 3 minutes after Kaiser gets the goal in stoppage time, but it was deserved. It wasn't a performance where they were clinging on. It was a performance of absolute confidence, authority, superiority. Each and every one of them played as if they're down a slab of Carabao in the dressing room before the game. They came out supercharged and they didn't let up. I'm half expecting Sandro Tonali and Joe Linton to run past me now. If Joe Linton does run past me, he'd probably barge me into that wall.
You say they on the drink. You say they on the drink, he's not going to run past you.
Apparently Joe Linton's in the box park having a drink. He deserves it. He can drink all night. Goodness me. If we're going to go off and move away from the celebration of Eddie Howe, and Howe was the right place to start. He was, and this is a start. Newcastle keep Howe as the manager. Give him what he wants. He's the most powerful man at the club now. He's the most powerful, popular man in the city. It wasn't great last summer. I'm telling you, that off-the-field turbulence wasn't good. There was a narrow little window there when, funny enough, England and their what should have been England's interest. If England wanted the best man for the job, they should have gone and got Eddie Howe. There was a narrow little window where all wasn't well. Trust me on that. He stayed. He stayed because he wanted to finish the job he'd started. Those foundations, he knew that this day was possible. He stayed out of a loyalty to you guys, to his players, to himself, to his family. He stayed because of all of that. And that's why we've arrived at this point now. And that's why I started with Eddie Howe. He didn't need this cup win to be the most powerful man at the club. He should have been that anyway. But if it's just sent a reminder to those above him, not that they should have ever needed it. Wow. Just give him what he wants, what he needs. He's the man. This is just the start in that regard. We'll get that through the filter.
Hey, got any gear?
We might not get that one through the filter. Oh, they're queuing up now. There we go. Enjoy that?
Yeah.
Takes me back to Joe Linton. Now, Joe Linton, right, let's park Howe for 1 second. Joe Linton today, that was his best game in a black and white shirt, born on. Don't forget, Eddie Howe was when he came in, Eddie Howe.
Come on, lad. When we get to Europe, this is what we say. We're Jordan, Super Jordan, Eddie is okay.
Eddie is the king. Yeah, we'll get that one through the filter as well. Say what you want. Man of the match.
Dan Burn.
Dan Burn.
Absolutely.
So I've got to get me merit stars. Who was the man of the match?
It's Dan Burn or Tonali for me. I thought Tonali was fantastic.
Well, I'm in the middle of talking about Joe Linton. I'm just bigging him up. I thought Joe Linton was incredible.
Daniel Burn.
Trippier was great as well, by the way.
He was.
Should we do all 11? We can go through the lot.
I have a whole lot of my.
The lot. They were that good.
Aye.
No, you've got to pick one. Daniel Burn.
Enjoy it, boys.
Have a good one, mate. Hey,
Daniel Burn.
mate, have a again, man. Let's just have a great night, eh? Come on, lads!
But you know what? When I get this video finished, I can go for a pint. So
Aye.
I'll crack on.
Tap faster.
See you, boys. Right, where were we? We're talking about Joe Linton. We've got to get to Dan Burn as well. Joe Linton, he set the tone from the off. Now, this is a player who has been unfit, who didn't come into the game with a doubt, but was still building somewhere back to his best. Just from the off, this was missed, I think. Within 5 seconds, he left something on the jaw of Schlobbersai. Was nursing his face. He did that from kickoff. I just thought, wow, he's in the mood. He was celebrating challenges and tackles as if they were goals, every single one of them. He did that in front of the Newcastle fans. He did that in front of the Liverpool fans in the second half. And for me, Joe Linton was just the one. And as the boy said there, we can go through the entire team, but Joe Linton was the one who set the tone. And I always say about this Newcastle team, within 5 or 10 minutes what version is going to turn up. That's become a pretty common trait. After 10 minutes, we knew they'd shown up, and that was all we sort of wanted. That was all we asked coming into it. Don't walk down here like it was 2 years ago with regret and wondering what if and what might have been, and keep them with the script. They haven't showed up. They never show up at Wembley. Well, today they didn't. You know what? Even if Liverpool had nicked an equaliser there and gone on to win it, if it had been different, they turned up. They did themselves proud. But that equaliser, that was never going to come. They were so superior. They were magnificent. Apply whatever word it is you want. I just thought they were absolutely sensational and so deserving of it. And they haven't played like that recently. We haven't probably seen that team and that level of performance since the semi-final, if we're honest. But on the back of West Ham, and the more you came out of West Ham, it wasn't a good performance, but you just thought something else has come from it. I said it in the preview video, a togetherness, a resolve, a grittiness, and talking to Eddie Howe on Friday, you could sense this was different. That's what everybody was saying. This felt different.
Jacob.
How are you doing? You okay?
Jacob, the best genius ever. How's it going, right?
Yeah, we're definitely not editing that out. There was some language earlier, I've got to let it out, but I'm definitely leaving that in. Enjoy it. What am I doing? I'm finishing this video and then I'm going to find a pub that serves beer as late as possible.
Have a pint.
As late as possible.
Chill out. Don't.
I need to.
No work. Have a drink, man.
Well, no, but I need it so guys like you and everybody else
Have
can
a
enjoy. I will have a drink so you can enjoy this video.
Have a drink.
I'm going to have several.
Have a drink.
Right.
Come on, man.
Right, I'll finish this
Right.
and then I might see you around King's Cross way.
Guys, amazing.
Thank you.
Right.
Not as amazing as those on the pitch, though.
Yeah,
Not as amazing as them. They
Yeah,
were
I'll see
incredible. See you later. Right, where were we? The players on the pitch, to a man, you can make a case for how many of them delivering the best performance in black and white. Tino Livramento came into this game and we were worried about Mo Salah and what Salah was going to do to him. Was Salah playing? Was Salah there? Livramento, he took that destiny in his own hands. He said, no, I'm going to put you on the back foot. Livramento, that link up with Harvey Barnes. Barnes, a player who only profited from Anthony Gordon's suspension. Forcing corners, free kicks, never shying away, getting on the ball. Let's just go through them. Nick Pope in goal, retribution for 2 years ago. The first big save he's got to make comes on the hour, Newcastle 2-0. Before that, he'd kicked, he'd punched. There'd been a couple of nervy moments when he comes out and heads one or two, but then that brilliant two-arm save from Curtis Jones. That's Nick Pope. Kieran Trippier, wow, goodness me. Class, composure. What he did in that first 10 minutes, sent a message to his team, everyone in the stands. No, guys, we belong here. We're good enough to be here. I'm good enough to be here. I'm an England international. I've won La Liga. I'm one of the best right backs, one of the best players in the history of Newcastle United, one of the best signings. He was another one who set that tone. Go across the back four. Fabian Schär's form's been terrible recently. He looked like a player who was on the wane. Wow, that wasn't Fabian Schär of last season. He looked like a 25-year-old. He just looked in the absolute prime of his career. The only ball Dan Burn missed all day, Fabian Schär stepped onto it late in the game. He was there for everything. He was there. He was here, there, everywhere. Schär was incredible. Dan Burn. Has a footballer ever had a week like Dan Burn? Called up the England squad on Friday, scores Newcastle's first goal in 25 years. 2 days later, joins up with the England squad tomorrow if he's sober enough. Has the game of his life, doesn't just score a goal, he's an absolute colossus. Headed, kicked, just unbelievable. Looked like an England player, an England starter he looked like. Just incredible, his story. Wow, Dan Burn. Left back, Tino Livramento, I've mentioned him. The midfield for me out the entire unit, I think they won the game for Newcastle. That midfield three, we've said they're the best. But if you look at it, they've actually only played brilliantly for 5 or 6 games as a 3 this season due to availability. Right on time, Sandro. They've actually only had probably 5 or 6 games where they've been exceptional as a 3. Today they were. I thought they won that midfield battle. Liverpool's got a good midfield 3. From the off, Newcastle's midfield were just superior, dogged, aggressive, good on the ball. They had craft, they had graft, they had everything. They were sensational. Hello, young man, you enjoy that? They were sensational. The forward line, now just to pick through the midfield 3, Bruno Guimaraes, the man who takes Bob Moncur's mantle. Let's walk up these steps, our own Wembley steps. Bruno Guimaraes just started running, snarling, biting from the off. Played, I think, most of the game with an injury. He took a massive whack on his knee early on. You wouldn't have known. When you talk about signings in the club's history, I've already mentioned Kieran Trippier, but Bruno Guimaraes, wow, right up there. Tonali alongside him, his story, that comeback after the ban and everything he's been through, to play in that midfield today the way he did, and to show a different side to his game. I didn't think it was his, not that it wasn't his best, he was very good on the ball, but it wasn't the player who dictates all of those passes in behind. It wasn't that technical masterclass. He was brilliant technically. The point I'm making is it was everything else about his midfield. He looked like a 6 in the more traditional value of it, that snuffing out what little danger there was. Liverpool only had one touch in Newcastle's half in the first 45 minutes, but that was probably because Tonali didn't allow them to get there. Just incredible. Joe Linton, I've already mentioned. The front three, Jacob Murphy actually had a sticky start in terms of technically a couple of balls he could have played earlier, but then he comes up with the assist, the wonderful assist, the header. I didn't know Jacob Murphy could head the ball. The combination on the left for the second goal. Barnes and Livramento, two players who, if Gordon and Hall were fit, wouldn't have been on the left, might not have been in the team. They combine. Livramento digs the cross out. Murphy, he rises like Wyn Davis, if we're going to go back to the 69 team. Win the leap. Jacob the leap. Murphy gets up down to Isak. Isak, who's done nothing. He's done nothing for an hour, whatever it was. Wow, and he just catches it so sweet and snaps that finish into the bottom corner. And from that point, that is the game won. And that's what the best players. Enjoy that? Yeah, incredible. That was sensational, weren't they?
Unbelievable.
Enjoy it.
See
it. So, well, Isak, didn't actually have that good a game. And then he does that, just brilliant. That's what the best players do. He's world class, that's why. If we left anyone, the players who come on, they all did. Wilson did a job seeing it out. All the others as well. Emil Kraft, Joe Willock, running his heart out. Anthony Gordon comes on at the end onto the pitch and gets the recognition he deserves, because he, more than anyone over the two legs of those semi-finals, put Newcastle into the final. I've just realised I can't get through the barrier. I'm going to have to stay here because I need my phone to snap through. But anyway, I don't want to leave Wembley. It's good around here. Right? There we go. That's the 11. I've already done the manager. Who else is that to mention? The coaching staff. He's got the best support coaching staff. They're elite. They're incredible. They're brilliant. A nod as well to the guys who started this, the guys who got the ball rolling with the takeover. Amanda Staveley, Murdoch, could you see everybody behind the scenes? You know, without those two, without that takeover happening, without Eddie Howe coming into the club and the investment there's been, and yes, they've spent money, they've actually spent it well. I don't think there's enough credit given on how well they've actually bought. You know, you can go out and spend money, but to identify Guimaraes, Botman, Tonali, Isak, Trippier, Byrne, all of them, put them all in there. You know, that's another matter as well, and they've done that incredibly. It's a victory for good recruitment today, good management, good ownership. Those early years of the ownership were just a magic carpet. It felt as if it had come back down to earth a little bit, given events of the past year, off the field, no new signings, delays over different infrastructural aspects. Well, wow, it's just taken flight there again today, and that can be the catalyst, that can be the springboard to put that carpet, that rocket ship, whatever you want to call it, back into orbit. Today was just, that's Newcastle United, that's what it can be, that's what it should be. It was magnificent. I really hope you had the day of your lives. I think I've spoken about long enough now. 20 minutes is enough. I'm going to go get back, see my little boys, see all the boys and girls who've jumped in and featured in this video. I just want to go and have a pint now. I really, really do. That was brilliant. Thank you so much for watching, for interacting. Leave your comments, like, subscribe, do whatever you want. None of that matters. Just enjoy it. I don't even know when I'm next going to see. It's 2-week international break now. I'm off with England. I'll try and bring you a video from amidst all of that, I think. I need my phone now to get through these barriers, and I need my phone to go and pay for what will be the sweetest pint I have ever drank. See you later, guys. Good night.